Ooh. I'm not seeing any footage.
Really?
It's a black screen. I do hear myself, which is the good news. Good.
Alright, yo, welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to a brand new edition of TCR Season 19, round number 1, back at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is himself, C Freeze, in the commentary booth, and the first time in a little while as the main commentator. I'll be taking everybody through tonight's proceedings alongside with a usual face in, well, I guess not really in the booth. You did race last season. And my co-commentator, it's just like good old days. Camden Luca to the booth. Welcome, welcome.
It's just like the glory days, C Freeze. I don't know how we do it. We're those old guys that stick around, you know? We have this reunion every season where we're somehow still here, still doing this, and we're back in the booth.
Yeah.
And we got 15 people on track. Speaking of reunions, people coming back, if you're a TCR regular, if you're someone that watches every race, if you're a diehard fan, you'll recognize some names that you haven't seen in a while on the leaderboard today.
Yeah, I think this grid, as we have B-Tom, last season's drivers champion, going provisional on pole at the moment. I think we have a good mixture this year of veteran drivers who've been on, the grid for many seasons, has a lot of a good resume, and we have, some new drivers that we haven't really heard from. Speaking of which, is a Red Bull of Jackson Altman, his debut here tonight in the Red Bull.
Yeah, he has been talking a lot of shit so far. He better keep doing what he's doing now, because if you've been in the TCR Discord, you know that this guy, well, first of all, he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so that explains everything, all right? They all talk shit. But he's doing really good so far. P2, only 3/10 off of B-Tom, which, by the way, speaking of B-Tom, he is our reigning champion, going for number 7. 7 TCR championships. No one's even come close to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Remsley is on the grid here tonight. He was a runner-up from last season, although he is technically reserve this season. Although there are, I think, maybe a seat or two open full-time. You can check that for me, as I'm sure you would know, Camden. But, hey, if Remsley has a good performance here tonight, and, let's say he shows up next week, and then the next week, hey, might as well slot him in full time.
Exactly,
right.
And
he could go for it with B-Tom, but if he doesn't, I believe there are going to be other people who will step up. But B-Tom, he's a proven champion. It's going to be tough to beat him this season. He's definitely coming in to this season as the favorite, and I just don't know if anyone else will be able to beat him. But we'll obviously have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. The thing with Remsley, I really don't think he's going to show up that much based on what he has told me. So you really take him out of the championship conversation at least. He'll be competing for wins whenever he shows up. But that guy right there that just put down fastest lap, it's going to be hard to beat him, especially when his prior competition, I'm talking about guys like Silent and Professional, they're back, but they're a little rusty. All right, they're definitely, I don't want to say the word washed, but they're kind of on that territory because I've heard they have not really practiced much since August.
Yeah.
And right now they're 9th and 10th, so.
Yeah, I mean, let's let this whole quali and first round, maybe the first few cycle through. But I mean, you're right. I mean, they didn't race last season full time. I mean, they've been active in other sims and other series possibly. So they're not rusty as far as a driving sense, but you do got to be up to speed for this game. And sometimes, you see, Remsley go P2 as a reserve. He probably didn't practice too much for this one, but look, he's only about a half a second off. Well, that's because he raced last season. He's fresh, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it. But look at some other guys who are coming back. JNB in the Kick Sauber and that neon green. He was once one of your rivals back down in the silver class, right? And
yeah,
he's a race winner, and he was really quick back then. And now he's fighting, into our top series, obviously all condensed as of now. But I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in for the first round. This is both live on the Twitch and the YouTube, so definitely share it out and tell everybody that TCR is back, and I'd say a little bit better than ever, because this season is shaping out to be a good one, and there's a few drivers who aren't here tonight that would probably be here by next round. Just Jose is on the grid this season. He's not here tonight, but we have a good grid size, but we still are always looking for sign-ups. So if you're looking to join the grid, look in the description, join our Discord. We're the most active, and sign up on our website. We have a slightly different website link, so just be aware of that. It's all in the description, and we'll be racing every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So come back definitely next week for round number 2.
I'm telling you, the hype going into this season is more than it's been in the past because we have returning drivers like Segrist, who just put up a pretty sporty time up there in 6th place. And if you know Segrist, you know that he's going to put on a show. And the fact that he's up there in P6 right now really tells me he's going to be a part of the show. That was a good lap by him.
Yeah.
And he's not far off of GTR Lion, which, speaking of him, he did put down a lap. And, we always expect to see Lion at the front, but now he's got a really... I mean, he had a great teammate last season, but he's got another teammate that could really help Lion go and get another Constructors' Championship this year.
Yeah, and how about your brother of Colby Kluka going P5? He is in the Williams this season.
Yeah, and Colby's always been a great qualifier. It's just putting everything together in the race, it seems like, on this game that has bitten him a few times. Yeah. P5 right now, I mean, if you look at the grid, yeah, you have a pretty big gap there from 1st to 3rd to the rest of the grid, but if you're looking at 4th through about 8th, only a few 10s, man. I'm telling you, this grid is competitive.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think quality is one thing. We're going to have to wait for the race because it's a lot easier on this game to stick with the other person, right, with DRS and Slipstream. Maybe not so much at this track, right, because just the way it's a shorter lap, shorter straights, but you do actually get out of the last braking zone all the way up to turn 1. You get a nice slipstream, and once that DRS gets active. So the race is going to be a whole nother issue, but look, B-Tom's another quickest lap. Almost into the 106s, which reminds me, looking at the handy-dandy commentary package brought to you by Camden Luca.
Yes, sir, every week.
Right. We have the TCR qualifying lap record It was set by Joe Breezy, who is a TCR champion in itself. Actually, a two-time TCR champion. He last set that in Season 7 of the Platinum class. It was a 106.814, so we're getting pretty close to beating that. I'm not sure if these cars are capable, but regardless, only 2/10 off the TCR lap record for qualifying.
I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks it, because B-Tom has been firing off laps like crazy so far. I think that was his 3rd lap that he's done so far, and that was the 3rd time that he went purple, so B-Tom could get it done. He's got 7/10 on Remsley right now. Yeah, B-Tom might want to maybe just take it a little easy here in the race if this is what his pace is going to be like. You know, don't bore us too much, B-Tom, all right? But
who else are the new drivers? We already mentioned Jackson.
The Herdia God. He's a new driver, and he's getting the rookie treatment right now here at Brazil. That is not how you go around the track.
Yeah, I just caught the end of that spin. Yeah, he's in the Williams alongside Kluka. So it's his debut here. A little spinning quality, no one hurt. Just throw the dust off, you know, tie your shoelace and get back going.
Put the Band-Aid on and get back up.
Right. And we also have a new driver in the Ferrari. Isn't that a new driver there? Res Goat 136.
Sounds familiar. Sounds like a Remsley. I don't know. Interesting. But I do want to just talk about the Herdia God, because he is Kluka's teammate. And for those who haven't figured it out, Kluka, Kandamuka, there is a connection there. And I have heard that the Herdia God does have some pace, so I'm going to look out for him this season. But you know, we got less than 4 minutes left, so this is kind of the time where all of the herd is getting let out. You know, the gate's getting dropped down, and they're all going out into the farm, seeing what kind of grass they can get here, and we'll see who can get the most grass. As of now, B-Tom's taking all the grass. He's kind of like the farm bully right now. Although Remsley I just want to shout out, Remsley did put up a 107.2, which is pretty good considering the gap that B-Tom and Remsley have on everybody else. Ooh, Kluka right now, almost 2/10 better than his previous lap. That would put him around P3. So if he can navigate turn 13 well right here, looks solid, but we'll see if he can get back to the finish line and exceed Jackson's time.
Yeah, he had a purple middle sector, so there's not much in sector 3. Let's go to the line. Kluka hugs it to the pit wall. He'll go P3. Exactly like
nice.
You mentioned. So good lap there, puts him on the 2nd row of the grid.
Looks like the McLarens have a small gap to each other. I don't think that's going to matter because they're both on a flyer, but Lion is leading the McLaren train here down the front straightaway and into Sector 2.
Yeah, and they're starting their laps a little early. I mean, sometimes drivers will go out around 2.5 minutes, and GT's already on his final flying lap. I wonder how much track evolution there is. You know, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played much of this game, but seeing as how it is very similar to the rest of the game series, there is some track evolution. You still want to go out as late as possible if the conditions are in your favor, for the most part. Silent finally gets a nice, decent lap on the board. He can salvage P5 with that to start now. Let's see where his teammate is. Still in the pit lane. And he should be coming out soon.
He should. There's not much time left. If you want to get another lap in, you got to go now.
We have B-Tom with an invalid lap time. So, although he might have saved up enough juice to where he can go it again. Maybe he's doing a double out lap, possibly. But regardless, he is on a lap now.
I think Lion, he's going really slow right now, but he does have enough time to get another lap in. I think that's what a lot of these guys are doing. They're putting in enough fuel to where they can do a couple laps. And the reason why you want to do that is because on that second lap, you won't have much fuel at all, and the car will go a lot faster. We'll see if Lion can get back in time and do another lap.
A couple people finishing or starting their laps, trying to get the most of it.
Deathstroke does not improve. He is in P14 right now, the lone Mercedes on the grid.
Got J&B on a flyer. It's going to be a nice one here. Let's see how he does.
He's
in purple.
good by almost 2/10 right now. He would maybe get silent.
Yeah. He's a half a second up as B-Tom gets another quickest lap. He goes 107.063. Not quite into the 106. J&B to the line. He's going to go P3.
That's a great lap. Great lap. And I think J&B's got something that he's really fighting for today because he was super close back in Season 15 at this track. And I think he's... I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't forgotten about that race. I think he's looking for something today. The Herdia God. That's what I'm going to call him.
Herdia God. Oh, all right. To the line, his last lap of the day will put him P8 on display. Jackson goes P4, grabs a spot off of Luca as those drivers are done. A couple more coming to the line. Aston Martin of Rudy. Diving into the pit lane. What about GT? He is going to abort his lap time. Speedy is done. We have Resgo also backed off from a lap. And I'm not sure if there's anyone else really fighting.
Deathstroke is fighting to stay on the track.
Yeah. He took that farmer's analogy that you said earlier a little too seriously.
Yeah. He's looking, maybe he heard me and he's trying to get the most grass. You know what? I think we should have a new rule. If you pick up the most grass in a race, you get an extra bonus point.
I don't know.
What do you think about that? Do you think that would be a terrible idea?
I'm not sure about that one, but it's too crazy. A little too soon in the season, if I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, let's just take a nice shout out to a few of the drivers, former drivers in the YouTube comments here. Can you have a little bit of a guess as to who would be watching if it's J&B's return? Any guesses, Camden? Who would be watching?
I've actually looked at the comment section, so I already know that it's former Silver Class driver Capitan that is in the chat. What's going on, bud?
El Capitan, and as well as Bam Bam, who used to drive way back with Segrist and Ben Swervin. He is rooting them on. But it's going to be B-Tom with pole for the first round of this season. Slightly ahead. Remsley had a nice time. 600ths over the runner-up of last season. J&B, nice solid performance in third. Jackson in his debut in fourth. Kluka in fifth. Silent, GT, the Heredia God, Moody's, and Segrist will be your top 10. Ben Swervin will be at the rear. We got 15
and you got to look
for tonight, which is great for round one as we're getting, as we go through the season. Hopefully we get more sign-ups. A couple people, like I said, weren't able to attend tonight. So hopefully they'll be returning for their first round next week.
Well, I think it is that time, Seafreeze, because Formation Lap is off.
Competitive gamer with Xfinity.
Damn it, YouTube ads, that ruined it. I was going to do something cool there, but never mind. So, first predictions of the year. I am notorious for the commentator's curse, so how about you go first? Who do you got for your top three?
I mean, if you're going to give me the first pick, I'll go with the favorite. I'll go with B-Tom. I mean, I think, he's just going to be able to win it based off of his performance of last season. I don't really see too much of a threat other than Remsley and maybe a few others, but in all honesty, I think he'll grab it. I'll put Remsley P2, and for P3, I'm going to go with, let's see, who's going to get it tonight? Possibly, well, let's go with one of the new drivers. And let's put Jackson up to P3. How about that? Quick and quality, and you know what? He was talking a lot of smack in the group chat, and I think he might back it up a little bit tonight. So we'll put him for a podium. How about it?
Yeah. Well, I think Remsley has something that he is looking for because B-Tom got him the majority of last season. And I'm going to go the opposite of you just because. So I'll go Remsley P1, B-Tom P2, and I'll put Kluka P3. I think this will be a good race for him. So you three that I just picked, good luck, because you have the commentator's curse.
So if everyone's just tuning in, this is round 1 of a brand new season of TCR, season 19, and the lights are going off as we speak. From B-Tom to Remsley, Seafreeze with the call. Here we go. And lights out, and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Here we go, all into turn 1, as there seems to be a little bit of a touch between Remsley and B-Tom as the leaderboard is kind of messed up, and J&B is running through Remsley here. I hope we don't have an issue, but it'll be B-Tom from Remsley to J&B to the Red Bull of Jackson.
There was an issue at the back. Resgoat got sideways. Speedy Gunner got sideways. Those guys have lost a lot of spots so far. They are not off to a good start. Oh, in the grass is Lion. Silent kind of pushed him in there.
And both the Williams side by side. He'll be side by side with Kluka as he gets the preferred line into the next corner. He should be able to squeeze out and grab the position as he does. So himself is P6 for the time being. As back at the rear, Professional is to 14th. He didn't have the greatest of starts. Resgoat and P15 has been swerving up a few positions, up to 11th behind Seacrest this evening.
Yeah, Professional actually got disconnected, so I'm trying to get him back in here.
Good call, good call. Kluka going on a move down the inside of GT. Doesn't make it entirely stick as DRS is enabled already. Obviously in this game, I'm not used to it yet. It's activated on lap 2 this time around.
Oh, Mahmood, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not a good start for the Aston Martin at all. He is putting on the hards, and he is going to try to salvage the rest of this race as DRS is enabled. Remember, guys, DRS is active on lap 2.
Finally get Professional back into the session, so not exactly how he would want to start his campaign, but good thing he is back in just on lap 2, so he's got plenty of time to catch back up and get into a rhythm.
The bottom half of that sandwich just fell off the table, and that is Ben Swerve race over.
Wow. Put a little bit too much mayo on the bread. It made it soggy, and the whole sandwich fell out in between.
You know, it's a shame because he made a few spots off of the start and had a really good launch, but all for naught. That's what you get, folks. Too much mayo on the bottom half of that sandwich, and you have one unhappy Haas driver.
And surprisingly, no safety cars, so we're down to 14 for tonight's race. As what did I mention up before? Didn't I say it's quite easy to stick into a nice DRS train? Well, the top 4 are doing just that. So, seeing as though last season it would have normally just been B-Tom and Remsley, well, hey, you just added J&B and Jackson to this front runner team fighting for the win. We'll see how long can they stick with these two. I mean, these are the best 2 we got from last season. So if you're able to do it in round 1, you'll be looking pretty good as Remsley going for the lead. And he does it. Fastest lap into lap 4.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, though, if you're looking at the battery of the top two, those guys do have a lot more than third and fourth. However, Remsley did use a lot there to get by B-Tom, so we'll see if J&B can keep up with B-Tom. He's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, and as they keep fighting, it'll help them as getting a nice pace and rhythm. And, yeah, that's something that they're going to have to learn, how much battery to use to catch up with them. Oh, the back of Jackson's car. Whoa, he almost lost it there. Nice save. Maybe it looked a little too dramatic. Maybe it was just the game glitch, but nonetheless, he is still in there. A 2.5 second gap back to GT, who is teamed up with Viton this season.
For his life right now, trying to stay ahead of Silent and Kaluka and the Herdia God. You got two teammates there in 7th and 8th, but I think this will be a pretty easy pick here for Silent.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Silent is like, all right, if I get past GT here, I could get the move on. The front runners are just there.
Oh,
I'm back in
Kaluka, 2 for 1 on the front stretch. Wow.
Wow, he came by like a rocket ship.
Literally. But it's not over yet. Silent's going to have something to say about this right now. Well, ooh, that was a bit of a glitch. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of issue there and here and there.
Yeah, that'll happen. Because Codemasters. And EA.
Right, EA.
You know, Codemasters and EA, oh no, looks like who's spun out? Deathstroke. Deathstroke's had an issue there in Sector 2 at turn 4, and he has gone down to 12th. You know, I was going to say, though, you know the Coke and Mentos combination? You know how it's not a very good one, it's a pretty explosive one? That's kind of the EA and Codemasters combination. You know, it just leads to a big mess.
Anyway, we got Silent on Kluka into turn 1, which should be a nice move here. He'll get it into turn 1, but it'll be hard. Oh, not actually. Kluka, wow. Hangs it around the outside. Who's going to get the DRS? That's going to be Silent once more. So the second opportunity will go down to the inside again, but over that pit lane.
Yeah, I don't like Kluka's battery situation, though. He's fighting really hard, as he should, but I don't see him winning this in the long term if you have 13% versus Silent's 71%.
And GT might be not using enough. He's at 100% battery.
Yeah, GT's always been the guy that kind of conserves the battery, just from what I've noticed. And his situation right now, Silent's got a 4-second gap up to Jackson, so Lion's not really going to go anywhere. So as long as he stays with these guys, then I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing.
Back at the front, it is Viton who was able to get past Remsley. They're DRSing off each other. Still J&B in third. He was able to save a little bit more battery. He was up to 50%, so it's good on him. Jackson just around the same amount of battery, which is good.
Kluka gonna stay in line right here. He kind of misses his apex, and this has allowed his teammate to come and really reel things in and kind of be a tight caboose.
Yeah, I think they'll work together. Try and get the team.
Man, the Herdia God almost... Yeah.
At Brazil here, you never really know with the weather situation, because at any point it could rain, and it's a little cloudy. I'm not sure if you have any weather information, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a shower later.
It is going to be back and forth. I did hear some rumblings in the other room, some muttered frustrations during qualifying, so I think rain could be a possibility.
Remsley gets back by Viton for P1. So we have a yellow, and that's going to be a Mercedes of Deathstroke once more. A little local yellow. They'll keep it going.
Yeah, it's really tough when you have consecutive spins the way he's had in the last few laps. The tires really don't get cooled back down at all. It makes it really tough to get back into a rhythm. Oh, and Resgo, first time penalty based off of corner cutting so far on lap 8 out of 36. There's a lot of laps here, so trust me, that will not be the last penalty.
Yeah, and the track limits aren't that hard. Just a few corners you got to watch out for, but apart from that, it should be a quite clean race as B-Tom will take over P1 from Remley, and there's a little bit of a gap between the other two with Jackson. It's on by J and B, so let's see what he can do leading this charge. He has to close the gap a little bit if he wants to stick with the top two.
I'm a little...
Does he? Oh, he's going to fight it.
Oh,
this is not
boy.
the right decision here. You can't lose the top two. You got to work together. You cannot.
Oh, man, they're still side by side.
Yeah, this is good racing, and it's going to cost them, but who wants to take charge here? Red Bull down the inside. He's going to clear it. Wow.
That was hard racing, but it does come at a sacrifice, because if you look at that gap, those two at the front are going to pull away now.
Yeah, it was just at 1.1 seconds when they went down that straightaway, and it's almost now 2.1 seconds. So they have some work to do if they want to challenge for the lead, and it's a shame because they were sticking quite well until they started fighting. But maybe that's a little bit of a thing for J&B, is, you know, he knows he can't fight for the win, and he just wants to settle for third, and he wants to battle with Jackson. So as he takes charge here again, they've got, like I said, that gap now at 2.4 seconds to the top two.
I think Lion's going to make a move here on Kluka. He's using the battery, but Kluka has DRS, and he's using the battery. Lion is going to have to forfeit that for now.
And I was going to say before J&B and Jackson were fighting that we have two big groups, but now we have like 3 little groups, and everyone else is kind of single file, spread out. We have the top 2, then 3rd and 4th, and then this little 4-pack, well, 3 now that Heredia is not with them anymore, so he did fall back from them.
Behind Heredia, you got guys like Segerson, Professional, that are really just trying to put laps down. As third place, though, these guys are just trying to survive at this point, because they are racing super hard. JMB and Jackson. Oh, we got a caution. Professional. He spun out in turn 13.
And here comes JMB again into turn 4. She's going to try to go around the outside, but Jackson covers it off. Good car placement by the Red Bull driver.
Oh my gosh, did you see Jackson's car? He is drifting that thing through Sector 2. That guy is on edge.
Yeah, and you know, that's going to be hard for his tire wear, and that could be why some of his pace went away. Is because of that much movement in the car through the corners. You don't want too much like that. I'm going to have to compare it to what the top 2 are looking like.
I know we say this a lot, but you know the top 2 are quick when they're pulling away from everybody else, and their battery is still the most out of anyone on the grid right now.
Yeah, that's impressive for sure. J&B again, down the inside, challenging.
Oh, man.
But this is tight racing, and you know, we don't want a DNF here, J&B, but he's definitely coming out of this first round flying.
These two are a little squirmish right now. You know, they might have had a little bit too much Taco Bell before the race, and they're just trying to not go to the bathroom before lap 36, because the back of their cars are just, you know, just kind of right now, just, you know, looking a little uncomfortable.
also have on the YouTube comments, some guy is in the comments there. Welcome, welcome. As well as Zionical. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Those guys fought for a championship down in the silver class, I'm pretty sure. Well, Zionical, he's a former silver class champion, but I'm pretty sure some guy fought for a championship in either 16 or 17.
Jackson backs off there, as you could hear from the throttle and the engine, which is a good idea because he's going to get this momentum off of his Senna S's here. Go for the move here. It seems to be the best spot for an overtake.
I'm
gonna tune in here for Silent. He was able to get past GT. He now has that 1 point, a little over a second gap off of GT, and he's trying to make leeway into this next third and fourth. 2.93 seconds. We've got a yellow.
Professional has spun out. Did you see Zionical's comment? The stream is basically giving us a slideshow right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. It's like those sports highlights shows where they give us, like, highlights of every 3 minutes. You know, the big moments of every 3 minutes. That's kind of what we're getting right now. No, not at the beginning. No, there wasn't any issues at all. But if you guys are tuning in, I thank you for tuning into this radio format edition of TCR. B. Tom Remsley, 1-2. About 6 seconds ahead of Jackson and JMB. And you got Silent P5, Lion P6, Kluka P7. Kluka's trying to hunt down a Lion right now. Speedy Gunner, 3-second time penalty, the third penalty given out to a driver. Remsley and B-Tom are playing leapfrog at the front. Lap 15, Remsley in front, B-Tom second place. Through the S's of turns 1 and 2.
It was fine in the beginning, and now I don't know why.
Kluka's using no ERS here on the back of Lion into turn 4. He's going to save that for the front stretch.
Is the Twitch like that too, or?
Deathstroke, welcome to the penalty club. 3 seconds. Down in P13, he's had a few spins thus far. Oh, we have a yellow. Who's that for? Kluka in the pits in P7. This is about the time where people are going to come down and pit. Lap 16. All the front runners started on mediums. Kluka's going to hards. He's going to do, it looks like a medium hard to the end. He was talking before the race about a possible 2-stopper, but I think the majority of people are going to go with a 1-stopper, although Resgoat has 14 laps on his softs, which I don't know how he's done that, personally. Oh, Resgoat, speaking of Resgoat, 10-second speeding penalty in the pit lane. He was too eager to get those soft tires off. Ooh, Mahmood had to back off there. For P10, he's fighting Speedy. Mahmood Speedy around the outside. And Speedy gets the spot up into Sector 2. Lion now in the pits. Is what's the Twitch looking like?
Yeah, it's the same one. I don't know why.
So do we restart? I don't like restarting streams and having like 2 different streams, but if we have to, then meanwhile, Lion comes out of the pits right behind the lap car of Professional. Lion's about a second behind Kluka, so he probably should use a bit of battery here to get within DRS range. Oh, yellow Sector 2 Deathstroke spins out. It has not been a good race for him. Deathstroke, you have won the first ever Fidget Spinner Award because you are spinning around like crazy. Sorry, Deathstroke. You get the first ever TCR Fidget Spinner Award. Congratulations. Segrist in the pits. The top 5 have yet to pit. They're still on their 17-lap-old medium tires. I'm curious, though, when Remsley and B-Tom will pit, because these guys have been 1-2 the whole race. B-Tom, fakes out Remsley, and Remsley in the pits. So the undercut could come into play here for Remsley. He pits before B-Tom. J&B is going to follow in Remsley, but he gets a 10-second penalty for speeding. Oh, that's huge. J&B speeds in the pits. That is no bueno. In his bid, getting back on the podium for the first time since season 15. Heredia in the pits. If you're tuning in, yes, you are looking at a black screen. We're trying to get that solved right now. For now, though, enjoy this TCR exclusive radio edition of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Heredia God comes out of the pits in P8. About 5 seconds up the road from Segrist. Lion unable to get within DRS of Kluka. He's 1.3 seconds back right now. That's the battle for P6. And speaking of Heredia God, that's a 3-second penalty at the front. B-Tom, lap 20 in the pits. Remsley is just crossing the start-finish line. I think he's going to get B-Tom. Remsley just crosses the start-finish line. Let's see if he gets out ahead of B-Tom. Yes, he is going to. The undercut is going to work for Remsley here. And he might have more than a second ahead of B-Tom out of the pits here. It's going to be close. Yeah, he's got him. Undercut is crucial. Oh, J&B is in the wall. Turn 1. So his situation goes from bad to worse. He's got no front wing. Looked like he must have lost traction there in the turn 1. Spun down to the left, hit the barrier. And that is his race up in smoke. He has no wing. He's down in 8th. So it's Silent in the lead right now. Silent has yet to pit on those 19-lap-old medium tires. He's going to stay out. He's maybe banking on a safety car here, or he could be doing a medium soft strategy. Because at this point, I mean, he's done 20 laps on the mediums. There's only 16 laps to go, so there's really no point in going to hards. Yes, street. Is that's not an internet issue because you don't ever have internet issues.